Hello, YouTube. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's I, your host, your solo host today, Dustyn Brewer. I am your brand manager and client success manager for Zephyr Drone Simulator, and it's wonderful to have you with me today. We are manning the fort,
Hello,
holding
YouTube.
things down.
Good
Morning, good afternoon,
for
good evening. All of us here at Zephyr, while Bo, everybody's beloved Bo, goes and gets a little bit of work done. Nothing major. He blew out his knee recently, and today I think it's just a dental cleaning. So, just getting him all back to rights, back to 100% as quickly as possible. So, we miss you, Bo. I know you're listening right now, and I imagine I'll see you in the chat before too long. Need to bring the mic down if you're using that one. Okay. Thank you for the heads up. I will do that. Getting all the kinks worked out on this thing, since I'm doing it myself on my new machine for the first time. Hopefully that's a little bit better. But anyway, thank you for joining me, Josh and Kyle. Nice to nice to see you guys in chat. So yeah, let me know if that worked. I did a little bit of audio adjustment in here. So oh, there's the mic one. There we go. See how that looks. The physical mic, not the audio. Okay. Bump it down a little bit more. Sound far away. Well, I wonder why. It seems like every time we touch this thing, it tends to change. Let's take a look at it. See if this helps any. It may have switched to my headset instead of my microphone, which is probably why it was picking up when I had muted my mic. That makes sense. Maybe that's a little bit better. Um, so, back at it again. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but it's wonderful to have you here with me while every change gets quieter. Go figure. Sir Big Bacon, welcome. Yes, it did help. Okay, good. We're at least on the right track. We'll get all the kinks worked out eventually. But glad that you're here joining me. Appreciate everybody being in the chat, helping to wrangle some of this noise and get things back in line. But we'll get there. So, what's new with us at Zephyr? We've got a lot of really cool stuff going on. You're going to be able to find us in two locations this next week. Myself and Bo, we will be in Washington, D.C. at Joint Air Force Base Andrews for a STEM career fair. So it's going to have a whole bunch of different high schools. Our good friend George is going to be there. We'll be set up and allowing some flights within the sim. It's always really cool to see, especially these parts of schools that have STEM involved, take the simulator and do some really awesome stuff with it. We all think that we're pretty adept at the sim, but man, you get a bunch of these high school kids in there, and it's like it's second nature. It is almost terrifying how good they are with this technology, and that kind of makes sense as we see drones, especially within the sphere that we operate in. It's just going nuts. So, really cool to see. We're excited to be there. It'll be my first time in that part of Maryland. I've been through DC before. Back in my brewing days, I stopped in front of the Department of ATF and waved because they probably know me because I've worked in pretty much all those abbreviations. But other than that, I'm excited to get back into town. Bo and I will be there for the 24th, 25th, and 26th. So I believe the actual STEM fair is the 25th and 26th. So if you're going to be in that area and you're part of that group, come by our table, hang out with us for a little bit. We'll have some stuff with us. If not, or if you're going to be in the Florida area, you can go by FlowCon, brought to you by our really good friends over at Drone Responders. That is also the 24th through the 26th. Looks like it's at the SunTrax Conference Center in Auburndale, Florida. So it looks like they still have some tickets remaining. They're limited as far as registering to go and hang out there at the show. It's going to be awesome. They'll have a lot of live speakers, they'll have some training, and they're going to have a really big announcement with us. They're at FlowCon in conjunction with FlowCon and drone responders and NIST. So we are really excited to bring it. I can't talk a lot about it yet. We're still under a little bit of a shroud there, but as soon as the press release lands, we'll be able to share more. But it's going to be awesome. I think people that are sim adopters already will find this is going to be pretty awesome what we have to offer. So, looking forward to being able to share that with you more. We'll have some more teasers between now and next Tuesday, releasing what we can when we can. But I'm personally excited for it. Come by and check out our table there. We'll be set up with the other vendors. Brandon and Parker will be in attendance there, so come by, see them. They'll have the sim set up as well. Plus, there for the big debut of whatever that is. Um, I think you'll be excited. I think it's worth the wait, worth the anticipation. I for one have seen some images, and of course talked to our team who worked on this extensively. So I want to say more. I wish I could say more. I feel like I don't know if anybody else out there plays Dungeons and Dragons, but as a DM, you want to be able to talk about what you've done and where you're going and like what the path is, because really nobody else is going to get it. Nobody else has the tribal knowledge but those people around you, and you, chat, are people around us. You tune in every week. You listen to myself and Bo ramble on about what's new, what's hot, and what's coming down the pipe. And I just want to share more, but if I keep talking, I'm going to overstate and I need to stop. So, um, let's talk about what is in the news this week. We've actually seen some pretty interesting things. I know here in the Boston area, we have the FIFA World Cup coming up. And in the commercial UAV news, um, they just released this from their public safety and emergency services section about what some of these different agencies are trying to do as far as get themselves ready for such a large scale event. Chief among those, looking at the director of public safety for Drone Shield, has been in talks. Just how completely complex this is going to be, especially from a public safety standpoint and sustained operations to make sure that they meet all their challenges and they're able to, be effective. So, got some pretty good words there. Like this is the real deal. So whether it's counter UAS or just being there for just overall safety, not even counter UAS, but to help the general crowd that's going to be there, help identify issues faster, and be able to get first responders where they need to go a little bit more quickly. It's going to be huge, and it's going to be a large collaborative effort with local law enforcement, plus some of these other folks that work in the industry itself. So I'm really anxious to see how this all plays out. And, we'll keep you informed as that comes up to time. Again, it's right down the road from me in Foxborough, so I'm looking forward to all the news coming out of it. In that same thread, we can go ahead and talk about what happened in El Paso. That was interesting. My folks live in Texas, and when you get a text from your folks saying like, "Oh, they've shut down airspace over El Paso," immediately my mind went to drones. There's got to be something up near the airport, Air Force Base, all that airspace being closed in that area. Um, and I think that lends to the whole conversation of responsibility in drones and where we find ourselves at Zephyr in a very unique place because we're able to be part of that conversation, and it's the difference between measured, studied approaches like what we take, very careful, very thoughtful, and just going and doing stuff. And you kind of have to wonder and question what was the thought process behind taking what would essentially be a counter UAS measure, um, like what they tried to deploy in this area, and take down what they thought was a nefarious drone. What they did do was shoot a laser at a mylar balloon without having tested this thing on other forms of air travel. The FAA threw a red flag over this, saying like, "Oh, this is new technology. This has no place around civilian flight, military flight, until it's been further tested. So, when it comes to safety and responsibility, that's where we at Zephyr Drone Simulator have a unique responsibility of informing the public that we are available, we exist, and training and becoming familiar with your equipment is paramount. It is incredibly important. Um, Even from just a money saving standpoint, I got to share with the guys a couple research articles that have come out over the past couple years about what is the likelihood that you're going to create damage with a drone, be that from user error, be that from somebody else's user error. And I don't think it would shock anybody that's tuning into this broadcast to know that it's pretty high, pretty damn high. So it behooves one to further educate ourselves and become familiar, work on those the muscle memory and mechanics of being better drone pilots. So by offering up things like Zephyr Drone Simulator to different industries like public safety, aviation education, and of course the burgeoning field of agriculture, we can remain part of that conversation so you don't have folks shooting from the hip, so to speak, and you know, sometimes a balloon is just a balloon, but when you're shooting a laser at it, you want to be a little bit more careful. And sometimes a drone is just a drone, but these things, they've got some weight to them and they cost money. So it makes sense for us to do what we can with what we have and continue to grow our experience. And ZDS is a really good way of doing that. Um, we've seen time and again where people have essentially changed the course of their drone pilot career by adopting the simulator and sticking with it, putting in the hours. Um, Through our learning management system, you're able to track your flights and compare that to real world flight through air data now that we have an integration with them for aggregate flight data. So, providing those tools, especially for these different industries, it's important and really cool to be a part of it. I'm excited. So, um, don't be like them and just go out thinking you're going after drones. Do some research, do some study. It pays dividends. Speaking of agriculture, though, again from commercial UAV news and Sh- Shafali Ramteki. So this is a recent article that just dropped yesterday. Um, UAV spraying to climate intelligence, and the research reveals what that does about sustainable agri UAS deployment. Um, Again, we're seeing more and more out of the agriculture sector. We are putting our big brains together at Zephyr to better accommodate um, that growing field. I'm really excited for what's coming up in later half of this year for some of those developments. That's a lot of things that we're looking at, those parameters of like, what does that look like? How do we fit in helping drone pilots to better enter an industry like agriculture? Um, I don't know about any of you, but if I could go back and shake one person, it would probably be my high school guidance counselor. Like, there's so many more jobs out there than you realize, especially now with a growing field like drones. I think I've said it every week for 20 weeks now that we're all just strapped to the front of a bullet train, hurtling down a track, and just trying to keep head above water and bugs out of our teeth when it comes to drones, because it seems like every different industry is adopting drones in some way, shape, or form. And agriculture being chief amongst those. And it's really cool to see like how they're using that to cover more of these fields in a safe way without having to use, which it's fun watching crop duster planes. I grew up watching those in eastern Arkansas over the rice paddies. Um, and those pilots are always, pretty fearless. But imagine if you could take that out. Uh, the the fuel cost, the insurance, the possible risk to even more property, and definitely risk to life by adopting drones. And what better way to train those folks than with Zephyr Drone Simulator? Just because it's so darn adaptable. I can't say enough good things about it. Even if I wasn't getting paid to do so, I would probably still champion these different aspects. Um, And then lastly, something else I thought was pretty cool was drones aren't just in the sky. Drones are also in the water. It doesn't have as much to do with us. I just find this fascinating that Lockheed Martin has a drone called the Lamprey that they're putting in the water, and it essentially looks like a little yellow torpedo. And I think that's going to be pretty cool that it can identify things like submersibles and get right up next to them and check them out. So terrifying, yes, but definitely a necessity. And I don't know about anybody else, but I have a little bit of thalassophobia, and deep water scares the crap out of me. So let's stick to the skies where we can see things. I prefer that. So, I don't have a lot of time with you today. Again, it's just me, and I don't think anybody wants to see or hear me ramble on for an hour. But I did want to impress upon you all again. If you're in the DC area and you can come find us, do so. If you're in the Auburndale, Florida area and you want to get tickets to FlowCon and be there for the big announcement, do that. We'd love to see you. We've always got a little bit of swag we could send home with you, plus some new information. But uh, yeah, we're here to answer your questions. If you've gotten an email from us recently, that's pretty exciting. Make sure that you share stuff like this with people within the industry. We love a referral. We make it worth your while. We are we're seeing some really cool stuff develop within the sector, and just continue to be an active part of that conversation. So if you haven't yet, if you're watching, I think there's about 10 of you right now. Um, yeah, hit that share button. Send us over to somebody that you think might enjoy learning more about Zephyr Drone Simulator, that they're into drones, or even if they're just a hobbyist. We've got a little bit of something for everybody. And hit that thumbs up. That's right about there. I think I'm pointing at it on the stream. Right down here. Hit that thumbs up. That does way better than hitting the little heart in chat. That does nothing. But the thumbs up actually helps us show up a little bit more. Um, but yeah, again, my name's Dustyn. Thank you so much for joining me for a few minutes today so I could brag about us. And yeah, that's exactly what Mr. Estep says. Share and give a care. Yeah, we'd love that. We'd love that for us. And it makes you look like you know what's going on too. So take full advantage of that opportunity. Um, but yeah, I will stop rambling and let you all get back to your day. Thank you for your time. Come find us at FlowCon. Um, be on the lookout, especially on our socials, for what's coming up in the next few days. It's kind of a surprise release. We will also be reaching out to let people know soon about our bigger update coming up at the end of or I guess end of next quarter. So yeah, it's going to be exciting stuff. And don't be a stranger. We're here for you. We're not a huge team, so we have plenty of bandwidth to help you guys out with whatever issues you're having, or if you want to see something new in the sim, please let us know. Otherwise, take care of each other. It's still slick out there, so make sure you're watching out for those slick spots. Ice can be dangerous, so make sure you help out your neighbors and watch out for that. And yeah, we will see you all next week live from DC, from Joint Air Force Base Andrews. Bo, I'm going to carry him on my back, like in Thunderdome, like Master Blaster. Except I'm gonna carry him. It's gonna be awesome. I won't be tired at all. And yeah, be good to each other, and we will see you soon. Thanks again to those new subscribers, and take care. Bye now.